Member of the Human Rights Committee, I'm thrilled to be able to introduce today's guest speakers. Although, as Lou just said, I didn't know I was doing this about an hour ago, I'm still happy to do it because I have a personal relationship with Brother Thomas. He and I are both members of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. And for the past 8 years, I've had the opportunity to work with Brother Charles Thomas to accomplish many goals for our graduate chapel, which is based in New York City. I've seen him provide supplementary for many high school students. I worked on our food and clothing and Brother's voter registration drive. And I've seen him annually perform at our annual achievement week. He's an outstanding singer, dancer, arranger, the whole bit. He's truly a Renaissance man. But many of you may know him as a professor and former department chairman of the Performing Creative Arts Study at the College of Staten Island. For years, he has produced and starred in many of final celebrations as well as spring recitals. And I also just recently found out that he's a former director of the African American Studies program at Richmond College, CUNY. He's a founding member of the African Americans Folkloric Troupe from San Francisco. He's the founder of the Staten Island Repertory Ensemble, receiving an award from the Borough President's Office. He's received the Black Theater Award for Excellence by Abdulco in 1991. He's listed in the Who's Who's in America, as well as Who's Who's in the world. He's also been honored in Washington, D.C. as an outstanding alumni of the Historical Black College, Langston University. So it gives me great pride to introduce our guest speaker today, Brother Dr. Charles Thomas.
Thank you. So far away is Africa. Not even memories alive, save those that history books create. Save those that songs beat back into the blood, beat out of blood with words sad song in strange, un-Negro tongue. So long, so far away is Africa. Subdued and time lost on the drums, and yet, through some vast mystical race, there comes this song. Ishe Oluwa, Kole Badeo, Ishe Oluwa, Kole Badeo. I do not understand this song, an atavistic land, of bitter yearnings lost without a place. So long, so far away is Africa's dark face. Ishe Oluwa, Kole Badeo, Ishe Oluwa, Kole Badeo. This, written by poet Langston Hughes, expresses the feeling of our alienation from our homeland among the majority of our people at the time. But today, we have been drawn considerably close due to the writings and visits on the continents of scholars such as W.E.B. Du Bois, who spent time in Ghana and was a great friend to his great president and freedom fighter, Kwame Nkrumah. Professor John Henry Clark, revered historian, educator, and mentor, lived among us in Harlem, USA, and worked and wrote extensively on Egyptology. Alice Haley, author of Roots and the acclaimed series on TV of the 1970s. Who can forget the character of Kunta Kinte, played by actor LeVar Burton, as we followed his saga of capture from the land of his fathers to the shores of a new and strange world. so long, so far away from Africa. Today, though, through DNA and other devices, we can travel verbally with historians, tracing our heritage to the remote parts of the East, West, North, and South Africa in global communication. African American studies have been established in most institutions of higher learning and have sponsored trips to the continent, as we did in the 1970s from Richmond College on Staten Island at St. George, where we sent 2 plane loads of students and professors to study in Ghana, Benin, Togo, and Nigeria, and all who came back with renewed spirits, newfound friends, extended families, and a sense of intense pride. And after that trip, it led me to write A Love Supreme, and I knew what the writer John Coltrane meant with saxophone great musician when he wrote A Love Supreme. Say it. A love supreme. A love supreme. Come on. A love supreme. A love supreme. The new world African sun shines on. A love supreme. A love supreme. The babies of his path encircles and enfolds us in golden rays of splendor, while we as children, born of love, are love supreme. Come on. A love supreme. A love supreme. A love supreme. The love surrounding the first family of Egypt, Akhenaten, Nefertiti, sailing along a moonlit Nile, their voices and their people following them, exclaiming to all this love, the first family, exemplified in their march across the deserts of the Sahara and the Kalahari, extending to all. So now again we see rising from the east, Mansa Musa, the kings, Sundiata, Askia Mohammed, Queen Makeda, their dancing march across the deserts of the Kalahari and the Sahara to all Allah Supreme, Allah Supreme. For today, brother meets sister, father meets mother, wherein they see and know and share to all Allah Supreme, Allah Supreme, Allah Supreme. Ashe, Adukwe, Asante, Asante, peace. Peace. And this love supreme shines on, highlighting the great places of learning and culture. Jerome Bennett Jr. wrote in Before the Mayflower that there was a great culture in Timbuktu, where scholars from around the globe gathered to study and learn at the great renowned university in Africa. We know of the great kings and queens. Mansa Musa, 1312 to 1337, the powerful ruler of Mali. Sungali Bed, 1464 to 1492, of the Songhai kingdom. Askia Mohammed, 1493 to 1528, the ruler and reformer of the Songhai kingdom. Alfonso I, 1506 to 1545, of the Congo kingdom. Shaka Zulu, the great Zulu warrior. Ramesses, Queen Nzinga, Queen Makeda, the Queen of Sheba, and many, many others. But today, the descendants of these places are the kings, are the queens, the artisans, the scholars, the teachers, the farmers, the hunters, the miners, the breeders, the statesmen, ministers, practitioners, gathered here in a classroom such as our college of Staten Island to learn and to learn from each other. Personally, I've had the pleasure of teaching and mentoring students from Ghana, Nigeria, Ethiopia, Senegal, the Ivory Coast, South Africa, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Kenya, Egypt, Benin, Morocco, Guinea, Zaire, Haiti, Jamaica, St. Vincent, Trinidad, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Santo Domingo, Brazil, Barbados, Belize, Panama, Guatemala, Bermuda, Bahamas, Pakistan, Hawaii, all in my class, sharing the aspects of the African tradition, where civilization made its glorious beginning. So the African in the New World infuses his spirit and genius, and the kings, queens, artisans, scholars, teachers, farmers, hunters, miners, griots, warriors, statesmen are reborn on another shore from the Middle Passage. Dark is the face of Harriet. Dark is still her fate. Deep in the dark of southern wilds, deep in the slaver's hate. Far in the eye of Harriet, fiery, dark and wild, bitter, bleak, hopeless is the bonded child. Stand in the fields, Harriet. Stand alone and still. Stand before the overseer, man enough to kill. This is slavery, Harriet, bend beneath the lash. This is Maryland, Harriet, bow to poor trash. You're just 16, Harriet. Never had a beau. Your mother dead long time ago. Your father, you don't know. You're a slave hand, Harriet, and a grubber with the hope. You're a slave hand. As much as you know. This piece of iron's not hard enough to hit you with a blow. This piece of iron's not hard enough just to let you slaves, although I'm still the overseer. Oh, master, believe my tale. I know you're thick. Keep me from going to jail. Get up! Harry, I didn't hit you hard. Get up, Sultan Harry. Grease your head with love. Get up! Harry, get up and bind your head. Remember, this is Maryland, and I can beat you dead. There, that overseer. I took his rusty knife. I killed that overseer. I took his low down life. There was something dust of America cleaning off my weary feet. And I'm bound to get to Canada before another week. I come through swamps and mountains. I waded many a creek. Go tell my brothers yonder that Harriet is free. Yes, tell my brothers now, no more auction block for me. 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 Many 1,000 gone. I come down in the nighttime. Stole down in the day. I come back to take the slaves away. Ha! I'm in a monster yonder, riding around the road. And right past me in Maryland, my old master strode. I wondered if he remembered. I want to know that head. I wonder if he wanted that overseer dead. I saw the mighty John Brown and saw Fred Douglass too. I enlisted abolitionists beneath the Union blue. I mourned for Mr. Lincoln and saw his funeral clock. You better run, Miss Harriet. There's a ransom on your head. You better run, Miss Harriet. They want you live or dead. They got $10,000 put on your cold black head. They got $10,000 because they want you in. time for you. I wait till they'll be riding Harriet till judgment days too. Yes, I'm Harriet Tubman, people. Harriet the slave. Harriet the free woman was free within her grave. Come down to the mountain, children. Come down to the valley at night. Come down to the weeping people and be their guiding light. Sing, deep dark river of Jordan, don't you want to go? Deep by river of Jordan, that's where we'll go. She's Harriet Tubman, people. Harriet, a slave. Harriet, free woman. Free within her grave. Leader of the Underground Railroad, the Moses of her people, leading over 300 slaves through here, New York, in many places, to the promised land of the North, and into Canada, following the Northern Star, never losing a passenger. And others. Fourth, Frederick Douglass escapes from slavery, becomes a great orator, and demands to know what to the American slave is your 4th of July. He dared to make that speech. And he said they had done things on this day, slavery, enough to disgrace a nation of savages. The 4th of July, and you're in chains? No celebration. He went on to be a great speaker for the abolitionist cause. He taught himself to read under the threat of death. Taught himself to read under bad conditions, underneath house, dark. So sometimes I tell some of my students, see what Frederick Douglass did to read? Now we have to threaten you with that to make you read. A Sojourner Truth proclaims, children, I talks to God and God talks to me. This morning I stepped out in the field. I looked at the wheat holding up his head, looking mighty big. But then I didn't see the wheat or the cotton. I said, Lord, what ails this cotton? And the Lord says to me, Sojourner, there's a weevil in it. Now I hear it's about the Constitution. And I see it looking mighty big. And I reach out for my rights, but there ain't any there. And I says to the Lord, Lord, what ails this Constitution? And the Lord says to me, Sojourner, there's a weevil in it. So I travel out through the South, fight for women's rights and for the rights of the slaves, and to get the weevils out of the Constitution. Sojourner, a Marcus Garvey, splendid, sitting in his car, feathers like a Zulu warrior, who says, let's go back to Africa. Marcus Garvey, leader of the Universal Improvement Negro Association, he traveled all over. He became a well-renowned figure. And he had a ship called the Black Star Line. And the Black Star Line is great to take everybody. And I wrote, oh, the Black Star Line really shines. I said, the Black Star Line really shines. Oh, the Black Star Line really shines. Thank you, Marcus Garvey, for a ship so fine. Gabriel Prosser. Everybody wasn't sitting still. We had our slave uprisings. One on the Isle of St. Vincent. We had slave uprisings by Nat Turner. And another man by Gabriel Prosser. Gabriel Prosser hanged for leading a slave revolt. but he tried. Robert Hayden wrote this about Gabriel Prosser. Black Gabriel riding to the gallows tree. In this last hour, what do you see? I see 1,000 slaves rising up from forgotten graves, and their wombs drip flame on slavery's ground, and their chains shake Dixie with a thunder sound. Gabriel, Gabriel, the end is nigh. What is your wish before you die? That rebellion suckles the slave mother's breast, and black men never rest. To slavery's pillars lie splintered in dust, and slavery's chains lie eaten with rust. Gabriel, Gabriel, this is the end. Your barbarous soul, may God be friend. The blow I struck was not in vain. The blow I struck shall be struck again. Gabriel hangs like golden sun, flame head of rebellion. The black folk weep, the white folk stare. Gabriel is a sword in the air. His spirit goes flying over the land, with the song in his mouth and the sword in his hand. Fight for freedom. A true St. Louis, just much like Marcus Garvey there, as I remember. Albert was the French, setting the people of Haiti free. And the people of Haiti still suffers from that defeat, because how dare him outmaneuver the French. And this country still has not recognized properly. Hey, my school, I grew up in Oklahoma. And as a child, I remember looking up at this great picture of a man in splendid uniforms, epaulets and everything. And they said, that's Toussaint Louverture. An older woman in my community named our school Toussaint Louverture High School. We learned who he was and why he was named. We named the correct pronunciation, Louverture. And we were told, when all the other schools in most of the state were George Washington Carver, but to a man, Toussaint Louverture, that's how I found out about it as a child growing up in Oklahoma. My school, this picture we had to walk by every morning in school. James Weldon Johnson, who wrote, lift every voice and sing to earth and heavenly, ringeth the harmonies of liberty, and our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies, let it be down loud as the rolling sea. And he wrote this. Thousands of young children sang it when he first wrote it and presented it, and it became the official song of the NAACP. Now it is the Black National Anthem that we sing in tribute to. Along with his brother, Roosevelt Johnson, they wrote together. He was an idol of mine because I tend to like the men who did many things. Not only were they statesmen, they were writers. They were performers. James Weldon Johnson also wrote musicals on Broadway, some of the best in the 1920s. He also was the ambassador to Nicaragua. He also wrote a book called Black Manhattan. If you haven't read that, please read it, which was a very popular book in those days. Letting people know about the great of blacks in Manhattan. James Weldon Johnson was also ambassador to countries. And he was a very educated, very talented man in all aspects of the work. And another hero of mine who was a man in all aspects, the great Paul Robeson. Paul Robeson, who had much more problems, many more, because of his stand to be a man. He wrote a book, Here I Stand. And he was a scholar. He was a football player at Rutgers. He was a scholar at Rutgers. He was also on debating teams and different teams. He got a law degree from Columbia University, but not being able to practice law like he wanted to, he changed. He went into the theater and did the great part of Othello by Shakespeare, which was the longest running play on Broadway at that time in about 1942. The first black to appear in that role on this stage in this country. Paul Robeson also went to do it in London around 1931, but the great Ira Aldrich had preceded him in the 1800s. Ira Aldrich, who went from New York to England and made a name for himself as a great actor, even introducing Shakespeare to parts of Russia that had not seen Shakespeare before. But Ira Aldrich would act the part in English, and the other actors would do their part in German if they didn't speak German or Russian, if they didn't speak English. And there we had bilingual performances by this man who died over there and never got back to the United States to write